Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for Peel and Durham region for week ending December 7th, 2022. I can't tell you how many videos I've said who you hire matters. Is it every other video? I say it all the time. Let's dig into that a little bit. During the course of my week, I've been taking buyer clients to see homes. I'll call the listing agent to get some details. I'm lucky with some agents if they ever pick up the phone. I'll leave a message or send a text because, you know, who leaves voice messages these days? So I'll send a text. I'm lucky if I get a response on the text, maybe a day or two later. We will look at our house with our buyer clients. A follow-up. Sometimes I'll get an automatic email following up. Rarely does the agent follow up to see how the showing is. And I know they're not getting a lot of showings. I can see that online. So if I'm the, one of 2 or 3 showings through the course of the week, why wouldn't they follow up? That would mean that they're serious about helping the seller sell their home, but no follow-ups. I'll have, there was one agent this week, and this happens often. He did call me to follow up, and just in the very first few sentences of the conversation told me that if I give him X amount of money in our offer, so we're representing the buyer, if I come in at X amount, which is $150,000 lower than the list price, he'd get me the home. Heck, these are private conversations the listing agent is having with his seller clients that, we're listed here, but we'll take here. He's telling me that right off the bat. I haven't even put any effort into negotiating yet. There's so many other examples. We got on our listings, how many times the agents not show up when they book their showing or show up late, leave doors unlocked? Like, it's mind-boggling how unprofessional some of these people are. And I know they're not just being unprofessional with me only, like this is who they are, and somehow, some way, they get clients. I don't understand that. I don't understand how these people can be hired. Folks, if you're looking to work with a realtor, who you hire matters. I'm doubling down on telling you that. Who you hire matters. Hire someone who's going to work in your best interest. Hire a professional. Just because somebody has a real estate license doesn't mean they're a professional, doesn't mean they're good at their trade. Who you hire matters. It always has and always will. If you think this video can help somebody, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. Here's a quick summary. Mississauga in blue, Brampton in green, and Durham in red. It's not too often that the average price for Durham is higher than the Brampton average sold price. And this is the gap between Brampton, Mississauga, and Durham. This gap here, this is one of the times where it's actually closer than we normally see that gap in price between the 3 cities. Let's start off with Mississauga. 18 detached properties were sold. One of those were at $1 million or more, at $2 million or more. Only one property was sold. 18 only were sold, which is more than half of what we sold the previous week. The previous week we sold 37. So sales came way down week over week. The amount of property selling at $2 million or more came down week over week. Average sold price as a result is sitting at $1,320,000. which is not the lowest of the year, but second. I'm just looking, I'm scanning here. It's the second lowest. You know, you just take a second and look back as to where we were versus where we are now. Huge difference. Lots of drama through the course of the year here. We're sitting at 1,320,000, and because of last year, week over week, during this week, prices went this way, and this year they're this way. The gap between the two week over week is this year's average sold price is 32% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price of $1,222,000 is 24% lower than last year's median price. The 4-week moving average, which is the dotted line, helps to spot the trend. And the median price, we can see that it's been sloping downwards. It's just slight. It's not aggressive at all. The average price actually over the span of a couple of months kind of looks like it's been trending upwards, but because of these last couple of weeks, we're going to start to see it trend downwards. We have 38% fewer sales of detached properties in Brampton this year versus last year. And, you know, 18 were sold. It's not a lot. Only 11%. So what was that? 2 properties or so sold at list price or more. We have 6% fewer listings in Mississauga of detached properties. That's year over year. Months of inventory, because not a lot of things changed except for sales. So active listings is relatively close to where it was before. Listings is down slightly, but sales cut in half. Months of inventory jumped way up. It's now sitting at 3.9 months of inventory. Here's Brampton. Similar situation. Not in sales, however, though. Sales, we sold 32 for week ending December 7. 32 was sold the previous week. 1 property sold at $2 million or more, which is kind of in line to what Brampton's been doing for most of the summer. 1, 2, or 3, or 0 properties selling at $2 million or more. So this week, 1 is sold at $2 million or more. 32 detached properties are sold. Average sold price is sitting at $1,120,000, and it's not the lowest average sold price of the year, but it's third, maybe fourth lowest price of the year. It's really close to the bottom. $1,120,000 is 20% lower than last year's average sold price. I mean, these are not small numbers, 20%, 30%, you know, forget this week. What about, you know, 13%, 15%? These are not low numbers. Median price is 23% lower than last year's median price. Median price for Brampton is sitting at $1,049,000. We have 47%, I got to say that number again, 47% fewer sales of detached properties in Brampton this year versus last year. That's January 1st to December 7th. So we're almost at the end of the year. I don't expect that number to change much. So, you know, close to half the sales this year than what we had last year. 12% fewer listings in Brampton this year versus last year, and 2.9 is the months of inventory. Here's Durham. Durham's a slightly different story when it comes to prices. For Durham, I'm using Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby as my sample. 27 detached properties were sold. 1 of those was at $2 million or more. Average sold price is up week over week. It's pretty high, $1,149,000. Now, when I say it's pretty high, I'm comparing it to where we've been in the last 3, 4, 5 months. I'm not obviously comparing it to we were at the beginning of the year. $1,149,000 is 2% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,021,000 is 8% lower than last year's median price. Year to date, we have 34% fewer sales of detached properties in Durham versus last year, and 3% fewer listings. Months of inventory, it's unchanged it's for the last month or so. It's been sitting kind of where it is now, sitting at 1.6 months of inventory. That's the detached market. Let's look at condos. This is condos for all of Peel region. 22 condos were sold. None of those were sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price came down slightly over the previous week, sitting at $598,000. It's one of the, it's not the lowest, but it's the bottom end of the lower average sold prices of the year. $598,000 is 8% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $577 is 7% lower, excuse me, it's 7% lower than last year's median price. We have 39% fewer condo sales across Peel region this year versus last year, and we have 1% fewer listings in Peel region year over year. And months of inventory for condos is getting up there, sitting at 4.4 months of inventory, very much in a balanced market territory. Here's a summary, quick summary of all the months of inventory and the direction they've gone week over week. Except for Durham region, months of inventory are getting up there. It feels very, even in Durham region, it feels very much like a balanced market, but there is, for the right properties at the right price, some competition out there, especially in Durham region. Brampton, Mississauga seems properties are sitting a little bit longer and you have a little bit more time, but you know, it is on a case-by-case basis. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.